What's up, family? So today I'm going to tell you why I stopped, or I guess had to stop, taking SARMs. Real quick, let me remind you, jump to the end of the video, watch the legal disclaimer, and let's jump in. So yeah, had to stop taking SARMs. Let me just start off with, you can tell by the pictures, I did put on a pretty good bulk during the LGD cycle. I had to stop it at about week 5. And I will discuss why in a second, but I just don't want to knock SARMs in general, so I don't want people to get like that kind of assumption here. That's not what this is, but this is the third time I've had this same issue with 3 different SARMs, and I'm just going to discuss it. But again, with the LGD cycle, I did put on some decent, I was bulking fairly nicely, and then I started having some issues. But the last couple of them pictures have been more recent. All in all, they were a total, it's only been about a month, if even, since I've been off the LGD, but I did dry out a little bit and leaned out a bit. I'm still doing a clean bulk right now, taking EQ and Anavar, but yeah, just with the SARMs, what is my issue? Okay, I put a video out last year about S23. Now, everything was okay, I would say, except when I went over 30 milligrams. Nipples got real puffy, real itchy, kind of like weird little pimples in the area. And when I started to pop one of the pimples, I noticed some weird clear fluid. And then I started pushing more and more, and I was beginning to lactate, and it was disgusting. I stopped immediately. And I was like, man, I thought it was because I ran S23 at 30 milligrams before without having this issue. But as soon as I went over 30 milligrams, 40, I even went up to 50 milligrams, and I began to lactate. Now, on paper, SARMs are supposed to, not convert into things. So when I discuss my issues of what I'm having when I run a SARM cycle at a fairly high dose, this is just for me personally. I do not know the science behind it. I can tell you what I believe and what, most of our theories have been, but there is no science yet to be like, oh, well, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Now, after that S23, I did get blood work about a few weeks afterwards, after I hit it with pramipexole from Americhem to drop down the prolactin, and that cleared up in a week or so. So the lactation was just a quick little, stupid, disgusting side effect, but it was very easily, taken care of. Americhem, very good products, best company I know. So very easily controlled. I took care of that. When I got my blood work done, everything was spot on. Estrogen was spot on. Prolactin was spot on. It was below average. So I thought, I wasn't know what I was going to expect when I got my results back. But once I seen everything, and all my theories and everything else, on paper proved to be okay, then I was happy. I had everything in all the right ranges. Now, when it comes to SARM cycles and me and going forward and what I've had, this is ever since I started my HRT that I've been having these problems with SARMs. Okay, I've had it with Rad 140. I believe it's one of my first vlogs on this channel. This is my second channel, but this is, I believe, my Rad 140. I vlogged and I discussed, these issues. But again, it wasn't to the extent that I know now of what the issues actually were. I just knew nipples were puffy. I was having issues. Wasn't sure exactly what it was until I seen lactation, So I had it with Rad 140 at 20 milligrams. Maybe it was 30 milligrams. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch my own video. That was 2 years ago. But ever since I started TRT and I took SARMs, this is what's happened. Now, YK11, I did not have this issue. And S23 at 30 milligrams and under, I did not have this issue. So I'd say probably 20 milligrams would be the safe bet if taking other things. So what I think is happening, and then again with the LGD right now at 20 milligrams, same thing. My nipples got real puffy. I felt like it was I was a few milligrams away from lactating. I was a few, I could have started maybe pushing and it would happen. I just didn't even want to go there. But this time around, it played with the bedroom a bit too. Like I was not King Kong the way I am King Kong, and I did not like that. And again, I couldn't wonder why. I'm like, I'm just taking the SARMs. I'm taking my TRT at 300 milligrams. I wasn't on the Proviron. I stopped that because I was taking Masteron with that cycle. So I stopped the 1-DHT. Big mistake. I'll never stop Proviron again. And I don't know if I'm going to run SARMs at a higher dose like that. I took LGD at 20, which isn't like the highest dose, but 10 to 15 milligrams should be just fine. For me being on TRT, maybe I'd just try 10 next time. But the stuff with the bedroom, I didn't like. And the nipple sensitivity, So now I know my issues, it's a prolactin issue. I don't know when it comes to like the science of it. So being on TRT for 2 years now almost, I don't know if the SARM this is, a few people I've talked to and some of the research I've done, the SARM binds harder than testosterone to the receptor. So when the testosterone tries to get into the receptors and where the testosterone is supposed to be, it's being blocked by the SARM. Not that the SARM is actually testosterone. That's the problem. It doesn't convert by itself. But now you have all this extra testosterone not able to attach and be where it's supposed to be, and then that converts. And I could probably, I'm not saying don't do any of this stuff, or I'm not saying, well, of course I am, talk to your doctor. But I'm not saying SARMs can't be ran on testosterone. They should be. I could address the problems with taking Prami on cycle. I could throw in an AI on cycle like what 90% of you guys would do. But for me, I don't like the side effects that come along with taking all the crap. I just don't like it. I don't like being on if I was doing one big cycles, then post cycles and, taking cycles like that, sure, why not? Let's go all out, take everything that's needed, and then we'll drop back down. But I don't live like that no more. I like to stay on. I like to take a week or two off, resensitize, clean up the system, detoxify things, and hop back on something safe. Like safe dosages, combining things. That's my newest thing, is like just finding special blends, hitting things from different pathways, always changing, never staying the same, always hitting the system with something new. And, and that's been working just fine. I'm looking fairly decent for somebody who doesn't eat the way I should be eating. Not that I'm eating junk food, but, I do get some pizzas and other things in there. Maybe a beer too here and there. But hey, it is what it is. Got to sacrifice a little bit. But, that's about it. So why did I stop taking SARMs? And that YK11, that was also an injectable version. So maybe that is something I could try in the future, a lower dose injectable version of a different SARM. But anything at 20 milligrams for me, being on TRT, the nipples puff up. There's just, I think it's prolactin. And another thing too, I always thought I had estrogen problems when it came to my gyno spikes, flare-ups. I always thought it was estrogen. So boom, I blast everything with, AIs. And then here come the big pimples that come along with it and the estrogen dropping aspects. And the nipples never looked the way I wanted to look. So it was just like, it's just a constant battle. And those who have, the gyno issues know exactly what I'm talking about. Other people might not say a damn word, but we see it everywhere we go, and it's the fucking worst. It really is, but it's just in our heads for the most part. But, so that was always, the concept, like, why? I'm not taking that much. I'm not taking things that are converting. As soon as I started addressing the prolactin for the first time in my life, addressing prolactin, again, because I never took things that really converted into it, so I never thought I'd have that issue. But as soon as I started addressing the prolactin from that S23 and then occasionally hitting Prami once or twice a week, the gyno just dropped like right down. Like any little flare-ups, every little issue that I had, like any lump that was there, as small as it may have been, was damn near gone. And that's without an AI, being on 300 milligrams of testosterone and just addressing a little bit of prolactin here and there. And so my issue was prolactin. It was never really estrogen. But again, how many up and downs did I go by blasting with the anti-estrogens, losing this, losing that? It's just up and down, you know. So finally, about a year and a half, I've had my blood work done. Well, not done, but I've had, you know, everything that works for me and my numbers and my amounts and everything dialed in to where everything is safe, effective, and I'm ready to go. You know, it just took way too long to get there, way too many experiments, but that's why I started a channel, so you guys can learn and we can talk, and I can learn from you and you can learn from me. I get many emails, questions. I'm always answering. I'm always trying my best to help, so keep it coming. And you know, that's my issue with SARMs. I just can't go high on while being on testosterone replacement therapy. I probably could. I'm sure I could, but I just don't want to have to address all the other things that come along with it for me. It might work for some. I know people that can take a gram of testosterone and not even need an AI, you know, again. So that's why this is just for me. But I'm just throwing it out there so now you guys can think twice. You know, if you're having issues, let's not blast it with letrozole. I mean, if you can get blood work, get blood work. But let's go about, you know, addressing a few of the issues it could be instead of just overdosing on one of them, you know. So there it is. Keep it real. Quick disclaimer, I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. Anything said is from my experience and for entertainment purposes only. Always check with your doctor and the laws of your country before adding anything to your regimen.